Hi YouTube, Watchify here with another video. Today I have with me the Orient Kamasu green dial. Of course, the Kamasu is already well known and there are a lot of videos about it, but I thought I would share my thoughts on the watch nonetheless. I think the Kamasu was a follow-up to the popular Orient Ray II and Mako II models, both of which were affordable 200-meter automatic divers. This watch for a time was even called the Mako III if I'm not mistaken. The Ray II and the Mako II became popular because of their inexpensive cost and the value that you got. I previously owned a blue dial Ray II, which I got early on in my watch collecting journey. It was a great watch, but I eventually sold it. And the Ray II and Mako II are still available currently at the time of this video, and they sell for $135 on Amazon. This Kamasu shares a lot of similarities with those watches, but gives you an upgraded sapphire crystal. So let's see if it makes sense to get the Kamasu. Starting off with the dial, the best way I can describe the color of this sunburst dial is it's a dark bluish green, but depending on the lighting, it can look more greenish. Orient offers this watch in other dial colors such as burgundy red, black, blue, and even a gilt dial. According to Orient, the word Kamasu means barracuda in Japanese, and that inspired some of this watch's characteristics. Legibility is great on this dial with its prominent lume-filled silver indices. It has a minute track along the edge of the dial, so no chapter ring is needed, which is good. The silver frame day and date windows at 3 o'clock, and it's nice how Orient continues the frame to separate the day of the week from the date. I looked at other watches in my collection and only the Orients have this. The date wheel is in white and has English and Spanish days of the week. You get an embossed Orient logo on the dial, which I hear is polarizing to some, but it doesn't bother me. The words water resist 20 bar are found towards the bottom of the dial. Moving on to the hands, Orient did a great job here with the sword-like hands, and they're well done in silver. I like how the minute hand extends all the way to the minute markers on the edge of the dial. To me, the seconds hand looks to have a reddish-orange arrow tip. Hour and minute hands have a generous amount of Orient's green lume, as does the arrow tip on the seconds hand. In terms of the crystal, like I mentioned, that's the main upgrade you get is flat sapphire crystal. I don't think it has any sort of AR coating, however, and you can see how it sits below the bezel insert. The case specs are 41.8 millimeter case size, 12.8 millimeter thickness. Lug to lug distance is just under 47 millimeters on my calipers, and the lug width is 22 millimeters. The case is brushed on the top of the lugs and polished everywhere else. I kind of wish Orient had used brushing on the sides of the case though, and just left a transition bevel polished. And on a side note, I've been experimenting with DIY case brushing using a simple fine Scotch-Brite pad, and I think I got some good results for only a few minutes work. I don't have any plans on doing that to this watch, however. The rotating bezel is also polished and not the easiest to grip in my opinion. Otherwise, the bezel action is smooth and sounds crisp. There is a color matched bezel insert, which I think is aluminum, and it has an embedded lume pip at 12 o'clock. Here you can see the bezel insert indentations at every 10 minutes, which is something they also did on the Ray II and the Mako II. So with this amount of polishing on the watch, it gives it more of a dressy vibe rather than being like a more tool-like diver. The undersized screw-down crown is at 3 o'clock, and it has the Orient logo etched on it. And let's see here, the crown's protected by very sharply defined crown guards. Underneath the case, you'll see the screw-down case back with Orient's twin dolphin logo etched on it. And I'm not sure why Orient puts these small round silver stickers on the case back. I've thought about removing it, but decided to just leave it since I'm not sure it'll come off cleanly. The movement inside the Kamasu is Orient's in-house F6922 automatic movement, and that features hacking and hand winding, and also has a 40-hour power reserve. I think this movement is comparable to Seiko's 4R36 movement. And here it is on my time grapher, and you can see it's losing about 5 to 6 seconds a day, which isn't that bad. You get a pretty good oyster style bracelet with this watch, and that is brushed on the top and polished on the sides. It has push pins connecting the links. It has a stamped clasp and hollow end links, however, just like the Ray 2 and the Mako 2 bracelets. The clasp has 4 micro adjustment holes and a locking mechanism. Obviously you can see that I upgraded the bracelet to a Strapcode Jubilee, and I think that bracelet really enhances the look of this watch. I'll leave a link to that bracelet in the video description in case you're interested in it. Since this watch has the, a very common 22mm lug width, it'll be really easy to find, different straps to pair with this watch. For example, I think it would look really good on a NATO strap. So this watch currently sells for $233 on Amazon at the time of this video. From what I can see, it's selling for a little less on eBay. The blue and the gilt dials are available on a rubber strap, and that costs about $30 less. I mentioned earlier that the Ray 2 and the Mako 2 sell for about $135 and are pretty similar to this watch. So the question could be, is it worth paying almost $100 more to get the sapphire crystal? I think there are quite a few people that would say no to that. I personally really like the black dial Mako 2 and would probably consider modding the crystal to a sapphire one myself, and still spending less than the Kamasu. Orient also has their Kano model, which is a good looking watch, but it's larger in size. That watch has similar hands and has the same automatic movement as this Kamasu. The Kano doesn't have a sapphire crystal though, but it sells less than the Kamasu. I really like the green and the red dial versions of the Kano. So you can see that the Kamasu has a lot of competition even within its own brand lineup. The Kamasu still makes sense if you really like the look of the watch, you like the Orient brand, and more importantly, you want the sapphire crystal and you want to keep the case size under 42mm. This watch is a solid 200-meter diver, but it gives off a dressy aesthetic, and for some that might be exactly what you're looking for. I think that'll wrap up this video. I hope you found it interesting or helpful. If you did, consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.